Hello everyone, welcome to another webinar series by Psyuni. And for today's topic, we have attachment styles in parenting and how your bond shapes the child's future. And today, as a guest lecturer, we have Sanchita Tiwari ma'am. She is a child psychologist, parenting educator, and a hypnotherapist. She has worked in corporate sector and later co-founded a facility management company where she handles the finance and banking operations. Currently, she is working with children, adolescents, and parents as an RCI trainee. And over to you, ma'am. I welcome you from Sayuri's behalf.
Thank you so much.
So, how
Thank
are
you
you
so
doing?
much, Ashi. It is pleasure being here. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good too.
I
So,
think
should we?
your voice is lagging. I can't hear properly.
Okay, just a minute now. Is it better now?
Yeah, better.
So, ma'am, should we start with the PPT?
Yes, we can. Hello everyone. As Ashi introduced me already, my name is Sanchita Tiwari. I'm a child psychologist, parenting educator, hypnotherapist, and before entering psychology full time, I worked in corporate sectors in an MNC in Gurgaon. And after that, I co-founded a facility management company with my husband, where I still have to manage the finance and backend operations. My transition into psychology deepened after I became mother, when I saw how strongly our childhood shapes who we eventually become. So now I'm full time into this, and my work revolve around helping parents understanding how emotional patterns get formed in childhood itself, and how we can raise children with secure attachment, resilience, and emotional intelligence. Before I would begin, I would like to share a small story from my own childhood because stories stays with us longer than theories. Yeah. Growing up, I was a very shy and introvert child. And like many Indian homes, my parents had very different temperaments. Both the parents had different temperaments. My father was calm, peaceful, and patient. If something bothered me, or if I wasn't feeling well, he was the one person I felt safe speaking to. I knew he would listen to me, understand, and make that space for my feelings. And my mother, on the other hand, was very expressive, often overwhelmed. She loved us deeply, but her threshold was totally different. I We used to maintain that complete pin drop silence when she slept because we were scared she might get up and shout on us. We were three siblings. Today, I understand her so much better, especially after I became a mother myself. With age and becoming a grandmother, her patience level has grown immensely, very beautifully. Now she listens, understands, and is one of the person I feel safe sharing many things with right now. After this story, after understanding what exactly my childhood was, I realized even if in the same home with the same parents, each child grows very, very differently. Because what we experience, how we feel seen, and where we feel safe shapes our emotional blueprint. And this is what exactly attachment is. And today we will be covering this topic, attachment styles in parenting, and how uh, our bond shapes our children's future. Um, Now, what is exactly attachment style? Um, I hope we had few idea about. I mean, we have idea about how exactly attachment works with our children. In early years, it is formed during just after the mother gives birth to the child. Um, the primary caregiver is the mother for many of the cases. So I would call primary caregiver as mother in this whole session so that we can understand little better. So, uh, जो I mean, whatever our however we you know create that bond with our children, it really helps them shape their future. We sometimes we don't understand, maybe we don't realize ke in that particular time ke just the child is born, we don't realize ke it will be it will be that important right now to have that bond, but it is. And I think it comes very naturally with mothers. उनका बहुत natural perspective होता है towards their children. They are always there with them, but in some cases they don't realize, they don't understand maybe. So there we need to understand कि यहाँ पे attachment create करना बहुत ज़रूरी है. So, how does attachment helps the child? It helps in trusting the world. How, just for example, if a mother is, giving that space to the child always, है ना, कुछ भी लग रही है बच्चे को तो the mother is always there. So the child will always trust the world in the same way, the way he or she is trusting their parents, the mother. And it also helps in regulating the emotions. It also helps in adulthood, how they cope up with stress and how they actually form their relationships. We often say कि जो भी हमारे, as I have seen many reels people are making, so many content on social media, they say कि जो भी parent हमारे लिए unavailable होता है in our early age, we tend to find the same qualities or same things in our partners. So it really helps in forming those relationships better, not by expecting those parental missings from your childhood, but also um, being there for your partner as a partner, not as a parent. So, yes, next would be.
Gives us this schema that this is how a safe or an unsafe environment looks like, and this is how I if like if we go by the theories, so they build on trust based on their relationship with their mother. They feel it's
Yes,
safe, and then that is what they bring out to the world, and then say like if the mother and the child relationship is healthy, the child would be easily they would easily trust people and then explore more options rather than just sticking to one thing. And if the environment is unsafe, then it would impact their when they grow up and they move and form relationships. So it can then impact that.
yes. Really, I mean, it really helps children form that relationship right from their childhood, because when they go to school, if their home environment is not good enough, it will reflect in their school as well. It will reflect in their friendships. It will reflect while they are, studying or in their academics as well. So, home environment or parenting is really, really important. Next, coming to as we all must be from psychology background or not from psychology, that is totally okay. There are four types of attachment styles: secure attachment, anxious attachment, avoidant, and disorganized. And how does it how does it look? If we see, secure attachment is a style wherein a child feels completely safe, seen, and understood. The parent is, if parent is giving to whatever child is speaking, or whatever child is telling, it is often there. I mean, the parents are often present always, to listen to their feelings. For example, if a child of 4 year old falls while running, the child cries and run to their mother, and the mother holds, soothes, and then encourage the child to try again. एक वो छोटा सा हग, एक just saying के it's okay, लग गई है, that's okay, but we'll try again. That is a secure attachment, where a child learns that my feelings are important and I'm safe with my primary caregiver, my mother. So this is really important. And for example, another example, if I give, a teenager shares a mistake, like they failed in a test, and parents listen to them calmly and helps them plan and schedule, timetable for them. It really helps the child in having that safe space where they can talk about their failures as well. Because बच्चे ज़्यादातर डरते हैं, है ना, अपने पेरेंट्स से बात करने में कि ओह वी आई हैव फेल्ड इन माय एग्जाम, और आई एम नॉट डूइंग गुड इन माय एकेडमिक्स. So यहाँ पे, if the teenager is able to talk to the parent, that means the child is feeling that I can talk to my parents without any fear, no matter what it is. So in future, they can also be restrained from so many things which will come in future, like in adolescence, when puberty hits and their world changes, they have identity crisis. So then parents are the one, they can be there with them, and they can talk about anything, whatever the child wants to talk. So yeah. And why, okay, I cannot see. Okay. Uh, what leads to secure attachment? How does secure attachment is formed? If we talk about parents, किस तरीके से उसको दे सकते हैं, like, because parents first need to be also very much self aware and healed themselves as a individual. They should not have any childhood traumas, or they should have some understanding about what are they actually making their child out of the whole emotional thing, whatever the conversation they have. So how we can have a secure attachment is by giving consistent caregiving. The caregiving should be as consistent as, every day there should be, um, you know a time where the child is talking to the parent. The parent is always checking on them. It should not be like कि नहीं, कभी है कभी नहीं है ना. Another one is predictable routine. It can be, as good as, the child knows कि if I have any kind of issues in my life, if it is visible and if I have shared with the parents, it is so much expected from the parents कि they will come to me and ask. The child should have that expectation, and the parent is able to fulfill those expectations. Also, when parents are able to emotionally coach the child right from their childhood, from their toddlerhood till the adolescence and forever, because bacha is a lifetime ka project, as my elder says. Again, creating those healthy boundaries when child is giving showing some tantrums, we can give the boundaries कि नहीं इसके आगे नहीं. If I have set a rule, you will be following it no matter what it is. है ना? This is how we can actually create that secure attachment. Repair after rupture. If there is any kind of rupture, if I as a parent have scolded my child, and if a child is actually feeling bad about it, I can go back to the child and I can tell him, okay, I'm so sorry I shouted on you. Can we talk again about it? So this really helps child rebuild that secure attachment back, because बच्चे बहुत जल्दी they feel, they absorb everything from their environment. They actually feel bad when we talk badly with them, or if the family environment, if we are fighting with our family members, they absorb everything and they take it with themselves. They will not tell you कि ये मुझे खराब लग रहा है, but they will take it till their adulthood, and it will show there then. Next is anxious attachment style. It is something where the caregiving is very inconsistent. It can be sometimes the child is getting that love from the parent and sometimes it is not. So वहाँ पे वो जो expect करता है वो उसको नहीं मिल पाता. It becomes मतलब the child becomes very anxious, and there is no consistency in the caregiving. So this kind of attachment is known as anxious attachment, where the it sometimes it is way too loving, sometimes they are not at all available. So for example, parents are constantly checking on them even if there is nothing wrong happening. That is also creating that anxious environment for the child कि कुछ गलत हो नहीं रहा है, but still I'm checking again and again, and doubting on the child, or maybe doubting on yourself कि कुछ गलत हो रहा है शायद. काफ़ी सारे पेरेंट्स होते हैं who who are constantly afraid about their children. One of them is me. Sometimes I also feel very much afraid कि if everything is okay or not. But then I have to tell myself it's all right, it's all right, it's okay. How how the anxious attachment style, I mean how this attachment bond is created between a child and a parent is by giving overprotection, emotional inconsistency, and giving too much of help. So इससे बच्चा is never able to be that independent in their work. We have to help and we have to give them that space where they can do things independently. And how do we see these anxious attachments in children? How can we judge ke there is attachment, I mean the child is anxious, we have anxious attachment when the child have that fear of separation all the time. There is a lot of emotional highs and lows, and also when the child grows up into adulthood and he seeks a lot of validation and reassurance from their peers, from their family members, from their partners, from their friends. That's how we can see that maybe there was a anxious attachment while they were growing up. Next is avoidant.
Maybe they were not.
Avoidant.
Yeah, so ma'am, I was saying, so it would be like there are a lot of question marks because they are waiting for, so because in one certain situation they got the love, and in the other situation because of something, the parent did not give that love at that point, and they now are waiting for that key. If similar kind of situation happened, so they were lovable, they were loving me in one situation, and then again that the thing that I was expecting out of them, and I did not get it at that point. So now in the third situation, they'll be anxious about if I'll be getting the love that I want, or maybe this time I'll not be getting the love that I want. So there, I feel like there is a lot of uncertainty, and they are very unsure of the thing is, if the love that they are wanting is coming to them.
Yeah, there is a lot of reassurance and validity which they, expect from their parents, because it's missing. Sometimes it is missing, and sometimes it's too much overloaded. So the child is confused um, in that situation कि क्या हो रहा है? Do I need to expect or do I not need to expect? So this is something which is.
Even the rules also, like for example, for one time they are allowing me to go to they are allowing me to go to some place, and now on the in the another situation now they are not letting me go, and I'm wondering what do I now expect. Okay.
Yeah, I think uh, in this similar kind of situation, once they are allowing and another time they are not allowing, that really creates that confusion in a child's mind. Okay, what is the rule about it? If we have a clear rule setting, or if we have a clear boundary setting, okay, this is what you are allowed to do and this is what you're not allowed to do, or maybe this is the thing which you are allowed to do after a certain age. So that gives more clarity to the child. But when we are not communicative enough as a parent, it really becomes very difficult for the child to understand, because they are still growing and they haven't developed that understanding के what are you feeling, and I mean as a parent कैसा आपको लगता है, क्या लगता है इसके बारे में, क्योंकि nobody actually, बच्चा क्या, nobody can judge what other person is thinking, और किस वजह से ये वाला रूल बना है या एक्सपेक्टेशंस बिल्डअप हुई है.
Like
या
there is no proper explanation to, if I'm asking something out of you, why is that? If I'm not allowing you to go to some place, what is the reason behind it?
yeah,
And
yeah.
and it somewhere also impacts their decision making, and then that leads to being over dependent on them for asking and for making them make the decision.
Yes, yes, completely. That becomes really difficult because confusion है ना. It's
Hmm.
there is a lot of confusion के ऐसा भी नहीं है कि parent is avoidant, कि बिल्कुल भी कोई प्यार नहीं मिल रहा है बच्चे को, या फिर देयर इज टोटल शटडाउन ऑफ इमोशंस फ्रॉम पेरेंट्स एंड, वो भी नहीं है. देयर इज सम बॉन्ड व्हिच पेरेंट इज ट्राइंग टू मेक, बट वैसा नहीं है. एक कंसिस्टेंट बॉन्ड नहीं, इट इज वेरी इनकंसिस्टेंट. दिस इज वेयर एंशियस, आई थिंक एंजाइटी भी उन लोगों को ज़्यादा होती है जहाँ पे एंशियस अटैचमेंट रहता है, बिकॉज दे आर नॉट वेरी मच श्योर अबाउट द फ्यूचर, मे बी वट द अदर पर्सन विल बी थिंकिंग. देर आर मेनी केसेस वेयर वी सी कि कुछ भी करने के पहले हम सोचते हैं कि वो कैसा क्या सोचेंगे मेरे बारे में, बिकॉज वी डोंट नो वट इज एक्सेप्टेड or expected from us. So that really have that impact. Yeah. Next is avoidant attachment, where the parent is emotionally very much distant and dismissive. The child in this case learns to soothe themselves. Okay, so बच्चे को प्यार की ज़रूरत तो होती ही है, right? If the parent is not able to, or if the parent is not giving that love to the child, there is a total shutdown of emotion from the parents' end, wherein child builds that avoidant attachment with their parents. Uh, it can be because parents are not emotionally attached to the child, or maybe the parent is not available for the child all the time, or maybe the least minimum time. um, I have heard a lot of time in my environment, and I've heard myself as well. Uh, when whenever a child cries, whenever बच्चा रो रहा है किसी भी चीज के लिए, एक टॉय के लिए, and the parent, if the parent is responding के stop crying, इतने ड्रामे मत करो, डोंट बी सो ड्रामेटिक। चाइल्ड को फील होता है कि ओके, माय इमोशंस आर नॉट वेलकम्ड, आई कैन नॉट क्राई, आई कैन नॉट आस्क फॉर थिंग्स। So here, if another person, a stranger, maybe someone, some friend is saying these things, it is still okay for the child. But if the mother, if the father, if the caregivers are saying this, it really gives that impact in their on child's brain. Um, there are so many. I mean, I have experienced myself. I would not. I should not be saying this, but still, सब लोगों के साथ में होता है ये experience है ना. When I was teenager, बहुत सारी एंजाइटी आती है, बहुत सारा स्ट्रेस आता है बिकॉज ऑफ एकेडमिक प्रेशर्स, सो मेनी थिंग्स लाइक आइडेंटिटी के बारे में कि कौन हूँ मैं, कैसी हूँ मैं, एम आई गुड इनफ. And if I share this thing with my parent, however, I never shared. If I share this thing with my parent and मेरे पेरेंट वापस मुझे रिप्लाई करें कि अरे इतना भी कोई स्ट्रेस होने की बात नहीं, हम लोग ने भी किया, आप भी करो. And this is how life is. This is how we should be doing it. This is how we need to handle it. मतलब आई थिंक हमारे पेरेंट्स हमें सिखाते हैं सहो रादर देन एक्सप्रेसिंग. एक्सप्रेस करना गलत नहीं होता. दिस इज व्हाट वी नीड टू बी अवेयर अबाउट बिकॉज what we have learned through our parents is if you are expressing, that means you're weak. If you're expressing, that means you cannot handle it. Even now, if I am expressing something, I would get to hear from myself, it's myself only कि अरे can't you handle this? नहीं होता क्या handle? क्यों? Why do you have to tell everyone? Why do you have to express it to everyone? So I think not expressing everyone, but one person whom you can express is very much important. Yeah. Um, as I said that, there are children who, they don't talk, they're very much reserved, and they hide their tears, or maybe they do not talk to their parents, they do not open up with their parents. I've heard one of the case where the mother was telling कि मेरा बच्चा 9 साल का है, 10 साल का है, बट मेरे से बात नहीं करता वो किसी भी चीज़ के बारे में. व्हेनेवर आई आस्क अबाउट योर, आई मीन स्कूल कैसा चल रहा है, एकेडमिक्स कैसे हैं, फ्रेंड्स क्या करते हैं, नहीं बात करता है. ही इज़ मोर बिज़ी इन हिज फ्रेंड्स. ही कम्स बैक होम, बैग छोड़ता है, अपना खेलने चला जाता है. ही डोंट टॉक टू हिज मदर. सो मदर को बहुत खराब लगता है ये चीज़ कि मेरा बच्चा मेरे से बात ही नहीं कर रहा. बट वी ऑल्सो नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड कि व्हाई इट इज़ हैपनिंग. Because maybe the child is not very much um, accepted in earlier days. आपने उसको शायद नहीं वो सेफ स्पेस दिया बात करने का, जिसकी वजह से वो अभी नहीं बात कर पा रहा है. ही इज नॉट एबल टू टॉक एट ऑल. So yeah, this is how avoidant attachment style is created. Avoidant
And
attachment is created with individuals. Um,
and also like most of the parents they label their children child.
yeah,
Again, like you said, like it's not okay for you to cry, or so if then you are weak if you are crying. So then this obviously, so I can't. Then the child takes it as like okay, I can't cry because it would mean that I'm weak, and then it leads to suppressing their needs and wants, whatever they had to express at that. And then
yeah.
maybe people use different types of coping skills which are not healthy to soothe their emotions and whatever they're feeling.
Yes, completely. There is also there's a difference between girls and boys, which boys have become very much. I mean, even if they try to express, they are not able to. Girls are still expected to express and still expected to cry. But boys अगर करते हैं तो उनके खुद के peers ही उनको है ना शेम करते हैं या बुली करते हैं कि अरे ये तो रोता है, या तो ये तो लड़की के जैसे रो रहा है, वट एवर. सो दीज आर ऑल्सो इम्पॉर्टेंट कि वो if we give that space at home and if we try and help our sons, our boys, even girls, to express their emotions at home, it will not go beyond home, right? School तक वो जाएगा ही नहीं. School तक if कुछ ऐसा होता भी है, so maybe we can teach them how to cope up with those stress at school, कुछ भी हो रहा है, तो how we need to react. That is how we need to create that emotional intelligence with our children, and that can only happen if we have that secure attachment. और सारे attachments में it is very difficult because बात ही नहीं हो रही है, वो safe space ही नहीं है, right? Right now, coming to the most um, bad attachment style, I would say that the child is not able to talk at all. Disorganized attachment, जहाँ पे there is no, I mean, the caregiver is not able to give that comfort, and there's a lot of fear. बच्चा कंफ्यूज होता है कि ओके हाउ शुड आई बी टॉकिंग और शुड आई नॉट, बिकॉज बहुत ज़्यादा देर इज़ अ लॉट ऑफ शाउटिंग, थ्रेटनिंग रिएक्शन फ्रॉम द पेरेंट्स. It really creates that confusion, and the child fears a lot about everything. So for example, if a child is being said by their parents, okay, that you are such a burden to our family, like most of the girls have heard this from the previous generations, okay, are you are a, you're a burden to our family, we need to get you married, and a lot of, we need to यू नो जमा करो बहुत सारा पैसा फॉर द डाउरी. सो बच्चा अपने आप में ही बहुत कंफ्यूज, और एक वो ट्रस्ट बिल्ड नहीं हो पाता. द मैसेज इज वेरी मच मिक्स्ड एंड कंफ्यूज्ड कि एम आई अ चाइल्ड हु इज एक्सेप्टेड, or should I not be there at all because I'm a burden? So in this, child often looks very confused. Whenever there is a stressed situation, they would freeze. And sometimes we would also see that they are acting out, or maybe they are trying to self soothe themselves when there is any kind of stressful situation. So here there is no sense of comfort which a child is getting. Okay, I think the PPT is also going out of. Yeah, so yeah, these are four attachment styles which we discussed, and I think there is also one thing which we should be discussing is the difference between parenting style and attachment style. Um, if you know, Ashi, you can tell me how does it, is it different? Is it different or is it same?
So, I would say it is different. Somewhere both plays a major role. As for parents, they also have their attachment styles, and then combined with what type of parenting they are using, what techniques they are using, then both of the things together creates this environment, whether it's like a healthy environment or an unhealthy environment, in shaping the child's future.
Right, right. So parenting style is something which is a behavioral approach, where how the parent is, treating their children, how the parent is behaving with their children. And attachment style is the outcome of it. Attachment style is where how the child is feeling about what is happening in the environment, how the parent is behaving with them. So there are a lot of parenting styles, but there are only these four attachment styles which we study in our curriculum. Yeah, coming to the slide. Yeah, how caregiving patterns shape emotional, social, and cognitive outcomes. Um, this is what we'll be learning now, that if the caregiver is very much if the caregiver is giving that secure environment, the child will learn to be emotionally regulated in their childhood, in their adolescencehood, in their adulthood as well, because they know how to regulate their emotions, because they got those emotions regulated from their parents when they were young. Because I think the parents were also very much regulated, only then they can pass on these things. They will have better self esteem, they will be able to express their feelings very, very efficiently, effectively. Also, when there is inconsistent caregiving, like avoidant caregiving, anxious caregiving, um, the outcome of this will be the child will always be anxious, the child will always feel clingy, there will be a low sense of safety always, in their mind. When there is a dismissive attachment, um, we tend to see the child is emotionally suppressed, they're suppressing their emotions, and they're also building disconnection from their own personality. It is very difficult to see the children, because they become too mature without being into that age. They feel very much detached with their parents, or maybe with their environment people, the family. Also,
I also have seen like parents are being very happy about the fact that the child is acting way mature than their age, and they think like this is the a really good trait to have as a child, and they feel really good about it. But on the other hand, what is happening is that they are not being very they are not caring much about what the child has to say, and then they are dismissing the child, and then it leads to the child thinking that I have to only be there, and I'll have to take care of myself, and then that leads to the mature behavior that they
yes. Often parents really misunderstand this by thinking, "Yeah, okay, our child is so much mature," but childhood is all about all those immaturities, doing those mistakes and learning from them, and being naughty, being everything but not mature. Yeah. So coming back to disorganized attachment style creates that high fear, like always being in that fear. Ke, if I don't do this, what will happen? They often do not understand emotions very well. अपने आप को या किसी और को भी, it becomes very difficult for them to understand the emotions. Also, in this kind of bond, the meltdowns are very often, and it is also very unpredictable reactions, because they don't know how to regulate their emotions at so many instances. So, yeah. So, sorry. Social outcomes for all these, styles. I mean, all these attachment bonds are having insecure. They really makes friends very easily. They can actually show empathy very well, and they are very much able to communicate with their friends, their families, and they can also handle conflicts very nicely, very gracefully. While in insecure attachment, the insecure attached children will be often seen anxious, they're clingy, अप्रूवल हमेशा सीख करते हैं लोगों से. um, Also, in avoidant attachment, it is very much difficult for the child to be close to anyone, and they would want to be independent and want to be alone all the time. In disorganized, there are a lot of trust issues. There are a lot of unpredictable behaviors in public, in social gatherings. Sometimes the child will be aggressive also, and also walk away from those situations. Next is how cognitively it will be good for them. It is okay. Do you know that child's brain is 80% developed by the age of 5? The brain develops through connections, not corrections. I mean, the connections which are formed within the age of 5, it really leads to their future connections. How do they, be in their adulthood? How will they have their relationships in their adulthood? How will they perform in their academics? How will they perform in their work when they grow old? So, connection is very much important. Sometimes parents are very much focused on academics. They often don't feel that connections are important for their children. So even the connections with their friends, even themselves, even their siblings, the family, the extended family, it's very much important. It will help them build that better concentration power. It will help them have stronger problem solving skills. Um, and because the secure attachment attached children will have a lot of because they feel safe all the time, so they feel safe to ask questions, so they are highly curious, and they will always have academic performance will be very well for them. Yes, coming to next. uh, while in insecure attachment, the child will always be overactive. The cognitive flexibility will be very less, and the child's mind will always be into that fight and flight mode. To have that to I mean, because of this mode, the child's learning ability reduces. And just a moment. So yeah, calm and in tune caregiver is a learning ready brain. Next, coming to how we can actually build those secure bonds at home. How we can actually create in I mean, create those secure bonds at home by doing so many activities, and naming those little things which we do, like naming our feelings right from the childhood. If we tell them that how are they feeling right now, if we ask them कि आपको कैसा लग रहा है अभी, so they'll be able to tell you कि कैसा लग रहा है उनको. If they are confused, or if they are not able to label their feelings, so maybe we can help them. So how we can help is by naming the feeling. If I am sad, I will go to my child and I will tell कि okay, I am sad, I feel this way. So बच्चे को भी समझ आएगा कि ऐसा होता है sadness. So whenever they feel sad, they can come and tell me कि okay, I'm feeling sad, mommy, I need to get a hug. So we need to always tell our children, we need to have that communication so strong that the child can always come up to us and tell their vulnerabilities. They can tell whatever they are feeling. they can, whenever they are overwhelmed, they can come and share कि कैसा उनको फील हो रहा है, and how we as a parent or we as a psychologist, we can tell the parents how we should be emotionally regulated first, so that we can regulate our children. So as I mentioned earlier also, that we should always repair after any kind of outburst from our side. Like as a parent, if we have shouted on our kid because of whatever reason, it could be anything. Because nobody is perfect, no parent is perfect. Even though we are learning, we are very much aware, but still there will be instances कि जब कुछ ना कुछ खराब होगा, and we still we can do that, and it's okay. We should not be feeling guilty about it. What we can do instead is, we can go back to the child and we can say them sorry, and we can talk about it more, so that the child feels कि okay, sorry हम बोल सकते हैं, है ना? क्योंकि कभी कभी क्या होता है कि आया तो बेसिकली थोड़ा प्राउड होगा या फिर थोड़ा वीक फील होगा या फिर क्या मैं इंफीरियर हूँ. बट इफ द पेरेंट इज डूइंग राइट फ्रॉम द चाइल्डहुड, दे विल नेवर फील कि कुछ गलत कर रहे हैं या कुछ इंफीरियर है या कुछ खराब है सॉरी बोलने में. कुछ छोटे नहीं हो जाओगे आप. I have to be, I have to lead by the example. And also, there's one saying, कि parents, I mean, childrens do what parents do. Childrens don't do what parents tell them to do, right? Because children always observe and absorb what is there in the environment. They will not be following your instructions. They will always be doing what you are doing. So we have to always lead by example. We have to listen to them more and advising them less. Advice देना important है because they are children. They don't know much about how the world is outside, but still we need to listen to their things, their emotions, their stories. It is not always about bad or maybe vulnerable things. It is also about how you are reacting those good or maybe achievements in their journey, in their academics, in their sports. उस चीज में भी हम उनकी बात सुन रहे हैं या उनको डिसमिस कर रहे हैं, वो भी इम्पोर्टेंट है. ठीक है. Next is, while we are talking to them, we should always have eye contact. We should always have that physical affection with them. Physical touch हमेशा रहना चाहिए. Obviously, it should be age appropriate, but still, they should not be feeling कि my mother is away from me because now I'm older. We can still have those physical attachments. I mean, physical touches, those affections, as per the child's need. And I have also observed in when boys, touch. I mean, hit their puberty, they often stay alone. They want to stay alone. But what, as a parent or maybe as a family, what we should be doing, we should always include them in the conversation so that they feel that they are still needed, so that they can freely talk about their feelings if they want to, because most of the time they don't want to talk about their feelings because of the obvious reasons. The peer, जो भी वो लोग बोलते हैं, boys, they are very much, they feel that they are superior, they are strong, they don't need anyone. रोते तो बच्चे हैं या girls हैं. So we need to give that environment majorly कि वो हमसे बात कर पाए. We should also have that one-on-one conversation, if not daily, then weekly, that we should talk about how they are doing in their life, how they are feeling about anything. If there is something happened in their school या फिर कुछ बट फ्रेंड्स के साथ लड़ाई हुई है, that is very much important for them. हमारे लिए शायद इतना important नहीं है, बट बच्चों के लिए वो चीज़ बहुत इम्पॉर्टेंट है. वी शुड ऑलवेज बी टॉकिंग टू देम. वी शुड ऑलवेज हैव दैट टाइम which we should take out for them to talk, so that they can open up with us. एंड whenever there is something, कुछ academically खराब हुआ है या फिर कुछ भी, there is something which they have actually done wrong, we should always start with soft voice rather than yelling, because yelling comes very naturally. I totally understand, but we should be that much aware about ourselves कि हमें उतना soft रहना है, so that the बच्चा is not scared. He should or she should share with us as much as they can. Also, we should always be we should always see, we should stay curious about our child's life. We should not all, ऐसा उनको एक space नहीं देना कि हाँ ठीक है, whatever you're doing do, वो देना है, but with a boundary के we should still ask them. We should ask about their life, about their friends, about their academics, about their sports, but we should not be controlling all those things. So that is, I think, that completes everything. When we do such, we have that strong communication space with our children, we can actually build up very much secure bond with them, so that they can have good emotional intelligence when they grow up or while they are growing up. Also, very much important point that as in the trend of being a gentle parent, we often forget discipline. So discipline, we should always have that discipline in their life, so that they get that strength, to become what they want to be. Also, we should always have those boundaries set for them. Okay, this is what you are allowed to. This is what you are not allowed to do. It is a part of gentle parenting. It is not strict parenting. We should always give that, we should always explain those expectations which you preferably want them to do very much clearly, so that they don't have any confusion in that, in that. That is, this is also a part of having that disciplined environment. um, we can replace the punishment with teachings. We can talk about the wrong behavior which they might have done. We can talk about it, and rather than giving punishment, we can give them time out. We can give them कि आपको इतने दिन टीवी नहीं देखने को मिलेगा, so that they have this intention. I mean, the इंटेंशन इज वेरी मच क्लियर कि उनको याद रहे वो चीज़ इन फ्यूचर कि ऐसा हुआ था. It should not look like a punishment. It should rather look like reward, or maybe token economy here, so that they understand कि if I will stay in my good behavior, I will get to watch TV, or I will get to play my sport. We should also always prefer connection before giving any directions. Always have that warmth whenever you're talking to your child, so that they are able to build those connections. We should not always giving those them directions कि ऐसा करना है, ऐसा करना है, ऐसा नहीं करना, वैसा नहीं करना. So it really don't become like a parent child relationship. It becomes more of uh, school PT coach or teacher and child relationship. So, how a parent can regulate their emotions, and how they can become conscious and mindful parent. First of all, very very basic, that we need to be self-aware. We need to heal ourselves first, and whenever we are into a situation where we feel that कुछ गलत हुआ है and we are yelling, we want to yell at our children, we need to see what exactly is activated here. We need to go back to our childhood कि हमारे साथ क्या हुआ था, हमने क्या किया था, पेरेंट्स ने क्या किया था, and now what we are doing. So by this we there are instances where you will react in a very vulnerable way, but we still need to get back and see कि क्या हो रहा है. So we need to use a lot of reflective tools like journaling. We need to ask ourselves कि हमें क्या चाहिए, हम क्यों ऐसा react कर रहे हैं, why. uh, Maybe we can go back to our child and see कि how my attachment was with my parents, how my parents treated me, how what kind of style they opted for, and do I need to follow that with my child or do I need to change. So that is something which really helps in understanding कि हमें कैसे अपना बच्चा आगे लेके जाना है, हमें कैसे उनको पेरेंटिंग देना है. um, there are a lot of instances wherein we get to hear the mothers, they get to hear कि oh हमने भी बच्चे पाले हैं, तुम भी ऐसे ही पालो, डांटना पड़ता है, मारना पड़ता है, ऐसे भी करना पड़ता है, वैसे भी करना, सब कुछ करना पड़ता है, but it's not always it will not always align with your rules or maybe your parenting style. Maybe you have a different type, maybe you want to make your child more secure rather than being anxious all the time. So yeah, we need to give give ourselves that रूटीन कि हमें पता हो कि हम कैसा फील कर रहे हैं. Most of the time we are so busy in our life that we tend to forget to take care of ourselves. So सबसे पहले वो important है, we need to take care of ourselves. We need to have some exercises which we should be doing every day. It can be any breathing exercise. It can be pranayam, it can be yoga. It's really good if we take a walk out in you fresh air. These days it's not so fresh, but still, um, we can go out for running. We can we can do so many things which can connect ourselves with us more, so that we can give our children more than what we got from from our parents. There are also so many inner child healing techniques which you can opt for. Hypnotherapy is one of them. If you have heard about inner child healing, that is something like reparenting yourself as a child and as a parent both together, so that we get to know how our childhood was and what was needed there and what was missing there, so that we can provide it to our child, I mean to our child self, the child which we have inside us, so that it does not reflect in our future, or if it does not reflect in our attachment or parenting style for our children. It can really release a lot of fears, a lot of guilts, and so many emotional blocks from our childhood. We can also try, I mean, the inner child healing in case uh, somebody is very much curious about कि ऐसा क्यों हो रहा है, why am I behaving like this even if I don't want to behave in this way. I am very much aware about what my child needs from me, but still I'm unable to give, because maybe it is coming from the past, maybe it is coming from your childhood. So we need to go and look back there. Conclusion. We're concluding the whole session. These 6 parenting principles which we can follow, or maybe we can write in somewhere, and we can remind ourselves again and again that we need to build that connection before control. There is always a control while we are parenting our children because that is needed. But we should always prefer and put the connection on the first in the list. Also, understanding before the judging. Understanding is very much important because judge करना बहुत आसान है. Everyone around us in the environment, in the world, are judging. But if we will also be judging, what is the difference between the parent and the outside people? So we need to understand because we are the people जिस जिसके लिए बच्चे हमें मतलब we the children actually look up to their parents always throughout their life, right? Also, the third one is teaching over punishment. We should always give those teachings in a form of stories or maybe in form of um, activities, but punishing, the hardcore punishment should always be avoided. And obviously, in some cases, it is needed, but teachings are more important than punishments. Awareness is very much important with the parents. हमें ऑटो पायलट मोड में नहीं चलना है, जैसा चलता आ रहा है वैसे ही चल रहा है. वी नीड टू स्टॉप एंड रिफ्लेक्ट. वी नीड टू सी कि हमारे बच्चे को क्या चाहिए, एंड वी नीड टू ऑल्सो सी दैट how aware we are and what will be the impact on our children when when they will grow up or while they are growing up. So awareness is very much important. जैसे जैसे जो जो आपको नॉलेज मिलती जा रही है फ्रॉम गुड कंटेंट क्रिएटर्स और मे बी यूट्यूब जैसे हम लोग भी बना रहे हैं, इट इज़ वेरी मच इम्पॉर्टेंट टू बी अवेयर अबाउट the studies which are happening in right now and in future, so that we know what is good and what is bad for our children. We also should be regulating ourselves. We cannot be perfect, of course, but we can always regulate our emotions first, and then we can help our children regulate those emotions. We should never be focusing on the perfections, neither from us, neither from our children. The last one is when the parent heals, the child also heals. So if you feel that there is something missing, there is something which needs that healing, we should heal ourselves first and then we can actually become a good parent. Thank you so much. It was really good being here for this 1 hour, and I really enjoyed talking to you, Ashi, and sharing whatever knowledge I had about parenting.
I also believe like parenting is like unlearning and learning, unlearning the parts that our parents made mistakes, and then learning according to what our child needs. And because every
Yes,
child is different, even though having two siblings in a family, but even though both of them got the same environment, they end up having different personalities because
right,
both of them are different individuals, and they have different needs and different traits. So accordingly, so I feel every parent have should unlearn from whatever they have learned as a parent from their parents, and then learn through parenting itself.
so true. Unlearning is very much important to learn new things because ओल्ड पैटर्न्स रिपीट नहीं हो उसके लिए हमको पहले वो सारी चीज़ें छोड़नी पड़ती हैं, सो दैट वी लर्न न्यू थिंग्स एंड द गुड थिंग्स एंड implement those in our life.
And now even like the attachment style, so parents also have these attachment styles. And then somewhere, if they haven't realized, they are not aware of these things, and through the session, even though they realize, they can also work on these uh, attachment styles that they have, and then work and do things for their own children.
Yes, right, completely. Because every person have their own attachment patterns, which were created in their childhood, and if they are carrying it forward to their future children, maybe it will not help them grow, develop their children in a better way. So I think if they feel that there was something wrong with their attachment patterns, they should work on, um, they should heal themselves so that they can give 100% to their children. They can build that secure attachment with their children.
If you could just also elaborate more on the inner child feeling, and if some if parents are watching this webinar and they might not know about this specific aspect, so if you could just also give a little brief about what it is.
So inner child healing is a technique. I use it in as a part of hypnotherapy, and it really helps in individual, having that awareness about what is needed from them, I mean from their parents, or maybe there is some childhood wounds which they need to heal from. There are also, because not all parents were perfect at that time, not even now. So there are so many mother wounds, father wounds, which actually, they are able to see and reflect when they are into the, inner healing session. It is a process, like it is a, um, if everybody know what is hypnotherapy, it is a meditative technique wherein um, we relax the individual and take them, to their childhood. If we talk about the inner child healing, we try and make them meet with their inner child and ask them, okay, how do you feel? Because our subconscious mind knows everything, but it never comes, uh, in our daily life. We just feel everything. We do not know how and why it is coming. So, through inner child healing, we can actually tap on those things which were bothering that time, and it is affecting our life right now as a parent or as an individual. So, this can really help them regulate themselves as a person, as a parent, yes, but as an individual, it can really help them be aware of those issues coming from past, coming from their childhood. And once we know कि क्या हुआ था, क्या गलत था, क्या सही था, we can actually accept, ना, वो आ जाता है एक्सेप्टेंस, जब आ जाती है we can actually, then after that we can work on the future, कि this happened and this is why you feel this way, and now you can work for your future in a better way. So it is a whole, program wherein anyone can enroll and have inner child healing. They can heal themselves inside out, and they can have a better future for themselves as well, not as a parent. Parenting can be affected, of course. It will help them reflect कि क्या गलत हुआ था, अब हमें ये नहीं करना. But of course, for any individual who feel कि कुछ मिसिंग लग रहा है या कुछ समझ नहीं आ रहा है ऐसा क्यों हो रहा है, it really works from them for them.
Because as an individual, before becoming a parent, you are an individual, and if you have healed yourself in your inner child, and you are now aware of these things, so it somewhere gives you a better place to parent a kid.
Right. Completely agree.
So I thank everyone who's watching and ma'am you
Thank you so
from
much.
for just such a wonderful session, and it was really great having you. And I believe that parents or who are watching these for like learning something new, I feel they must have really gotten a lot of information and things that they can work on, and it was really great having
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much.
you. Okay. So should we wrap?
Complete pleasure being here.